Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So I know I haven't posted in a while, but that's because I have really exciting news. You can see I won't gender it because I want to tell you guys the gender later, but this is my new puppy. I'm gonna have her in the beginning of this and then I'm gonna put her down for her nap while I tell you a little bit about our story. But she is, I just gendered her. She is a girl. Her name is Denali. She is a Standard Poodle. She's getting so big already. So I'm gonna go put her down for her nap because she's a puppy and we can't just have her running around while I'm focused on videoing. And it's her nap time, so.
Speaking my heart like it really is, 'cause I can't take another no. I see, I like, I go, I get, no one can holding me back. I see, I like, I go, I get, go, I get, go, I get, go, I get now.
Hey, and we are back, and now we have the big boy joining us. So I put her down for her nap because I can't really watch a puppy and make this video. She's only 11 weeks old this week. So yes, her name is Denali. She is a female Standard Poodle. She is considered an abstract mix because she does have a white patch on her chest, which I can't really show you because she's too squirmy. She's just a puppy. But she does have a white patch on her chest, and it's adorable because she also has, it says it's trying to track me. I don't know if tracking cancel. I don't know. I think I'm in focus. But yeah, so she has a white patch on her chest, and then she also has, which I can't really show you because she's too squirmy, she has little white patches on her paw, like each one of her paw pads, like on the bottom, have white patches, which I just think is adorable. I keep finding little bits of white around her, but yeah, she's considered an abstract Standard Poodle. She does have her tail. The breeder I went with does not dock, which is a big requirement for me, among many others. And don't come at me about, oh, well then they're not show quality, so it must be about breeder. She was an amazing breeder, and I personally do not want my dog with a dock tail. So that's how I got it. And don't ask me who she was, because people with doodles are always like, oh, well then tell me your breeder if she was so amazing. My Standard Poodle breeder was also amazing, and I'm also not going to tell you her. So I don't really get that argument with doodles, because no matter if my dog's a purebred or a mutt or mixed breed, I'm not going to tell you who their breeder was. Sorry, not sorry. But let's get to the fun part of this video so I can tell you a little bit about her. Throughout this video, I will have videos and pictures I've taken throughout the week and a half I've had her. Because I've taken a lot, as you can imagine, and it's easier than trying to like show you guys because she's just a puppy, so she's all over the place. But she's a really, really amazing puppy, but we'll get there. So Denali. So I went almost up to Canada to get her. I found her breeder a little bit ago, I think around December. And they were expecting a litter of pups, but we assumed or thought that they were all spoken for, which turned out wasn't the case yet. But we found her around December, and we thought we weren't going to be able to get one until her next litter because we thought they were probably all spoken for. But it turned out she had 3 puppies left. 2 black and white party boys, so they were the black and white coloration. Maybe I'll put a picture if you don't know what I'm talking about. Party boys, and then 1 abstract female girl who was black and with white little accents around her. And so we went up there, like as soon as we found out. She only does meet and greets and pickups on weekends because she probably works during the week. So we went up literally the following weekend, which was like 3 days later. We had to stay in a hotel room and do all that stuff because it was way far away, like 8 hours from me. So we had to stay in a hotel and do all that stuff. But we went up and I got to meet the puppies. So I left Patches in the car because even though he is my current service dog and will be working, before I get those questions, until he is 10 probably, unless health issues or something else pops up sooner. But most likely until he's 10 to 10 and a half with the phase out process. But I did leave him in the car because obviously I was going to be around the mama dog, the dad dog, all the puppies. Like it would just have been overwhelming for me to try and pick a puppy with him there. So it was just easier if he stayed in the car. So I left him in the car and I walked in and literally Denali was the first puppy I saw. She had just gotten a bath and she was all fluffy and combed out. And so I looked over at the couch and a little boy was just combing her beautiful black fur. And so the breeder handed her to me first, and the first thing she did, just like Patches, was laid her head on my chest. And I was like, okay, she is choosing me. Because the first thing she did was lay her head on my chest. And so I was like, okay, well, I think we're done here. But then she was like, no, let's look at the other ones just in case. Because I totally went thinking, oh, it's going to probably be a party boy. But that was not the case. So I went into the puppy room with the other puppies, and she took out the 2 other availables. Oh, also, I forgot to say, when we talked to her, she also did say they all passed their temperament tests and would be good service dogs, by the way. So, so I went into the puppy room, and I got to see the other ones. She took them out, put them on the ground, and then I set Denali down, because it's always good to see how the dog reacts to you on their own, how they are going to respond to you on their own, I guess. So I put her down, and the 2 boys just took off chasing each other around the room. They came up to sniff my knee a little bit, but probably because it smells like Patches. And other than that, they just took off around the room. And they didn't have interest in me or even the breeder. And then I put Denali down, and the first thing she does is kind of looks at me, looks at the boys running around crazy, and then she tries to climb back in my lap. So I was like, okay, she is choosing me. Without a doubt, she is choosing me. And then my breeder said, oh, well, she said she prefers to give them to their new homes when they're 10 weeks old, because scientifically that is proven to be better for them. But because she knew they were 8 weeks old and she knew that we drove so far, she was like, oh, do you want to take her home today? And we were like, no, we'll just come back in a couple weeks when she is older, because it is scientifically proven that they should be around 10 weeks old. And so we were like, we'll just come back. Plus, I wasn't prepared. I didn't expect to bring her home that day. So, nothing at my house was prepared. I didn't have stuff in the car prepared. So, it was just better to come back a different day. But I love her. In fact, we were going to come back after our vacation, but I canceled our vacation because I was like, I need my puppy now, because she was going to be 11 weeks when I did bring her home, but we were like, no, I need her now. So, we went back when she was 10 weeks old. I think it was 2 days before she was 10 weeks, but since they only do, things on weekends, it would have been past her 10-week mark. So we were like, okay, 2 days or 3 days before 10 weeks is not going to make or break it. But we came back basically exactly a week later and got her. She was 8.5 weeks when I met her. So that is how I met her. And then I came back and, oh crap. Is this still recording? It says my battery is dead. Hope I got all that. I will be back with a better battery. And we are back. So I did get all that, thank goodness. I changed my battery, thank goodness. I have 5 of them. What's my hair doing now? So I don't know where I left off, but basically she was the perfect puppy. So we had to leave her, go home, and then come back a week later and get her. So that's what we did. I guess I'll tell you that, and then I'll read all her temperament test results, just because I think it's interesting. I didn't do that with Patches when I got him, just because I wasn't really into YouTube yet, and I didn't really know how to film or format these kind of videos. But I will read some of those because I have them right here. So I went back to get her. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, when I met her, I also was able to bring her out to Patches, so that way they could have a little mini meet and greet. He was in the back of the car, and I was holding her. And so I just let them sniff each other a little bit. I also rubbed a blanket on Denali, so that way he could have it throughout the week. And then I also did the same to him. I had an old towel that I rubbed on him and then gave to the breeder, so that way she could get his scent. So that way they could kind of get familiar with each other's scents and all that stuff. And so, yeah. So then I came back a week later to get her, and it was such a fun experience. I picked her up, I signed, the contract and all the paperwork, and I just walked out of there with a puppy who is a Standard Poodle. I think I already said that. yeah, there's not too much more to that story. It was an 8-hour drive back, and of course we had to stop every little bit because she has to pee. She didn't go potty at all in the car, but we stopped every little bit so that way both the dogs could pee, sniff each other a little bit, and get water and all that stuff. She only threw up twice, which was at the beginning of the trip, so I think it was more to anxiety than necessarily the car ride itself, just because, and I did feed her some lunch too, and so I think it was more just anxiety, because even after her lunch she didn't throw up again in the car, so I think it was just anxiety more than, like nervousness, like it's a big day, it's a long car ride. But it was cute because she was a little nervous when I walked out the door holding her. But as soon as she saw Patches, she like perked up, and it was adorable. You could tell that she felt so much better knowing that there was a dog in the back seat. And then that was a comfort to her. Also, sorry if the lighting's bad. I need to get a new ring light because mine just stopped working. And then my other backup light bulb decided to randomly break. Like the part of it came off. It was weird. Anyway, I digress. So yes, there's not too much to that story, I guess. When she came home, she only threw up twice. I sat in the back with her, of course, like you're supposed to do, like I did with Patches, like I did with her, because that way it helps them from getting too much car sickness, which she only threw up twice at the beginning of the trip, and that was it. I did come prepared with the towels and extra clothes for me and all the things just in case I needed anything. But there's not really too much to that story. Like, she was like Patches. She was already looking out the window. He didn't even do that when I picked him up, and he was completely like, I've been here my whole life. But she was already looking out the window, like popping up on my leg, looking out the window, seeing what was going on, so it was cute. So she is a Standard Poodle. Her breeder also, well, with her mom and dad weight, she will be big enough for mobility. She'll be 55 to 60 pounds, so Patches is 65, so she'll only be 5 or 10 pounds lighter than him probably. When we went to her first vet appointment a few days ago, she was 11 pounds. He was already 13 pounds at 8 weeks old, and she's 11 pounds at 10 weeks old. That was her 10-week appointment. So yeah. So she will be probably 5 or 10 pounds lighter than him, which is perfect for me because I need mobility. I would not go with it, and some of my other tasks as well, but especially mobility. I would not personally go with a dog below 50 pounds. Like, if she got to 50, she would be big enough for everything I needed, but 55 or 60 is really my like target weight. And with her mom and dad and everything like that, she will be 55 to 60 pounds, so she'll only be 5 or 10 pounds lighter than him, which is perfect for me and my needs as a service dog prospect. I don't know if I said that yet. Yes, she will be a service dog prospect. She won't start public access training until 1. Science shows that when a dog is 1, they are more mature to do those things. Just because a dog can do them and maybe is fine doing them doesn't necessarily mean they should, and that's when washout rates get extremely high when you put 6-month-old dogs into public and just go out there. So I'm not going to do that with her. Thankfully, I already have a service dog, so it's not really like a rush this time around with him. I did rush it a little bit. I was new to the whole situation, not to mention needed a service dog desperately. So, but with her, I'm not going to do that. We are taking things slowly. She will start public access at 1. He is almost 6, so she'll be in public by the time he's almost 7, and then she will do, that will take a little while. So she'll probably be around 2 when she's public access trained, but then she starts her mobility training, and so then she will be fully trained probably by 2.5 or 3, which means she'll be a backup service dog for him for only like a year before he fully retires, most likely, unless he gets a health issue sooner, which is kind of how come I did decide to do it a little bit earlier than originally planned, was because if he does get arthritis or something at 8 or 9, I already have one on the way, because anything could happen, and so having a year of like a cushion is nice, but yeah, so that's our little story. She's a perfect puppy. Should I talk about how good the breeder was, or should I talk about her first? I don't know. I'll talk about her first. Okay, so if you don't want to hear all this stuff about how good the breeder was, then you don't have to. I don't know. But she's an amazing puppy. She doesn't whine in the kennel. Of course, the breeder already kennel trained him, so that was partly why. I mean, once in a while, like, I think a little while ago, she, like, whimpered in there, and she'll do stuff like that, or maybe, like, let out a random bark. But other than that, she's quiet, which, thank God. The only thing I cannot stand about puppy raising is the kennel whining. Because if you could put them in there and get like an hour to 2 hours of a break between puppy mouthing and all the puppy things, then you can live sanely. But if you can't even sleep because they're in there whining the whole time, you cannot live like that. So I am so thankful. Plus, since she won't be starting public until 1, I mean, she'll do, you know, pet store stuff and basic obedient training kind of things. But because she'll mainly be here for the next year and really for the next couple of years, it's really crucial that she can be in the kennel and be quiet. He can be in the kennel and be quiet now, but man, it took so long because he did not like the kennel. So I'm thankful that she is not a kennel crier or barker or makes noise, because I can just put her in there and she's fine. I can get a break, which because I am disabled and have disabilities, it is kind of important that I can live sanely and get a break from puppy. So I'm really glad that she's not a kennel whiner. She's a little mouthy, but right now she is teething, so that's kind of normal. To be puppy mouthy, but I give her a toy for the most part. She'll take the toy instead of my hand. If she's getting really, really obsessively mouthy, then I can tell that it's probably time for her nap, so I put her down. But other than that, she doesn't really mouth too much. I mean, a little bit like a puppy does, but she doesn't get into things. Of course, my house is already pretty much dog-proof because I have him, but like, and I don't like messes, but like, she doesn't really get into things. The only thing she'll get into is my flip-flops if I don't put them up high. And that's literally it. She found the vacuum cord, but I just moved it the other way and she was like, go for it. So for the most part, she just sticks to her toys. She doesn't get into things like at all. Like I even had a bag of bottles and cans over there that I need to take, well, that I took to bottle drop, but they were over there. And she didn't even bother them. So she's not, like, she doesn't get into things. She's not too mouthy a little bit, but not too mouthy. She doesn't whine in the kennel. Like, guys, she's a perfect puppy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He is fantastic now, but as a puppy, he was extremely hyper. Puppy. But she is a lot calmer than him. She's like him in a lot of ways, though. She follows me around like he did when he came home. Well, still does. When he came home. And so she'll follow me around the house, or really anyone, which is adorable. She watches me like him, which is adorable, because I'll just be sitting on the couch and I'll look over and they're both like sitting there staring at me like I'm just their whole world. And I just love that feeling. I love training them together. I should do a video of it. I don't know if I've done a video, but it's so cute. I'll be like, you know, I'm training her obviously the basics because she's just a puppy, so stay down. She already knows it. She came home knowing sitting for her food dishes, so she already knows that. But I will train them together and I'll be like, okay, Patches, this one's for you, and I'll have him do like circle or an allure or something, and she just stays there sitting and watching him like she's literally learning how to do it. So I'll be like, are you gonna do this one day, Denali? It's so adorable. I love that I have a black and white poodle. You know, almost all poodle is golden doodle, but he's 75% poodle, so they both look poodle. But I love that I have a black and white poodle, and I also love that I have a boy and a girl, so it's just amazing. I love it so much. I love both personalities of boy dogs and girl dogs because they do they're different, but they're just fun to have together. So yeah, she's just literally incredible puppy. They don't play yet, but that's normal. Like, first of all, she's still new. Second of all, she's only 11 weeks old, so she's too small to really play with him. But as she gets bigger, they're going to be running around this place driving me mad. I already know it. It's so cute because she'll look at him and see him, like, lay a certain way, and she'll lay that way. So she's already, like, taking notes from him, and it's adorable. So, yeah, she's just an incredible puppy. I can't remember what else I've said. Brain fog is so bad because I've been exhausted. I mean, going on a trip like that 2 weeks in a row and then bringing home a puppy and then having to wake up every 2 hours. Oh, that's the other thing, potty training. She doesn't have accidents, guys. She already goes to my door and paws it. I know her bladder is not fully developed until 6 months old at least. But she already goes to the door and starts pawing it. The only time she had an accident was in the car. Thankfully, we have a dog car seat cover. But that was only because we went to the vet, and I took her out before we went to the vet. And we were gone, like, a few hours because the whole vet situation was a mess too. I can't believe they scheduled an unvaccinated puppy on a busy day. So we had to wait in the car, and then I had to carry her in, and it was just a whole thing. But it was a couple hours, so we didn't want to let her out to go potty because obviously she's not vaccinated. And I know some people are like, socialization doesn't matter if they're vaccinated. I'm not going to let my dog get parvo. I would much rather have a little bit of a late socialization period than her get parvo. I did the same with him. He's an incredible service dog. I know there's a lot of trainers who are like, it doesn't matter, vets shouldn't be saying that, but the death rate of like puppies and get parvo, I believe, is like 90%. So I'm waiting until she is vaccinated to really do socialization and go out, besides just inside our own car. Thankfully, she has a yard, so she is allowed to play outside and that kind of thing without having to like be exposed. But I digress. So yeah, so that did have to bring her into the pet store because I had to get a leash and a harness, and I didn't know the size of her, obviously. But I carried her the whole time, so she did not touch anything. But that was the only time that I had to do it. Did you hear Sissy? Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's it. She's literally a perfect puppy. I cannot believe how perfect she is. She's so perfect. But yeah, she's my service dog prospect. He's perfect too. Don't worry, Patches. So yeah, she will be my service dog she is my service dog prospect, and she will probably be my service dog. She's amazing, so I don't see her washing out. She's literally incredible. She's such a good puppy. Yeah, so I think now I'll go into talking about the breeder. Sorry if you don't want to make this far. Again, I'm gonna probably have like videos and pictures and things going up on the side while I talk about everything because she's amazing. Because she's an amazing puppy, and it's just fun to show you guys her. Yeah. So the breeder was incredible. She did early neurological stimulation training, which I have a video somewhere about it. That's what the same training Patches' breeder did, and it really does. It's also called biosensory training, but it really does set dogs up for success to not have extreme fears or extreme fear periods, and it's really good for working dogs. It was originally used for military dogs, and since it's been used for other kinds of dogs, it's incredible. Of course, she did OFAs and temperament tests and all the genetic situations that I don't really want to get into. I did meet her mom and her dad, and yeah, she's just an amazing breeder. She has a lot of dogs that have become service dogs. She was telling me stories about some of them and showing me pictures of some of them. So she does have dogs that have become service dogs. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say. I do my research on breeders. His breeder was good. Her breeder was good. He's a golden doodle. She's a standard poodle. Also, why did I go with standard poodle for those that might ask? I did make a video about this a while back. I went with standard poodle because Patches is 75% poodle. So he's pretty much all poodle. He looks poodle. He acts poodle. I really don't know where the golden in him is. It's not visible. I went with him because I choose my breeders based on breeder, not based on mix. I do need poodles or doodles because of my lungs. Golden doodles can have a 50-50 chance of shedding or not. He's an F1B, which means that he only had a 25% chance of shedding, and his breeder told me how to pick one that wouldn't be a shedder. But I discovered through him that I really just love standard poodles. I love their temperament. I love their looks. I love that they don't shed because it doesn't affect my lungs. I just love standard poodles. So I thought instead of risking it with another golden doodle, even if it could still be like him, why not just go with a standard poodle who's a purebred poodle? So that's what I did this time. Nothing bad about his breeder. I actually was going to go with his breeder for my next dog too, except for they're retired now and they don't breed. But I'm fine with that because I love my poodle. I love poodles in general, so I decided just to go with a standard poodle. So, yeah, that's about that. But her breeder was amazing, just like his was. I don't really know what else to say about that. I did my research on breeders. I know how to pick good ones, and she was an amazing breeder. She breeds for health and temperament and working dogs. She has a lot of working dogs that have made it. And so, in fact, I could read you guys some of her stuff. In fact, I'm also in the process of registering her, which I'm excited for because I'm excited to get her pedigree and her registration and to be able to, I'll probably frame them on her side of the wall. I haven't figured out, I was going to put the gear wall here, but it turns out there's power lines there, so I can't. So right now her kennel is in front of my gear wall, which is why this is a different location. I'm by his dog bed instead today, and plus my light burned out, so it's more lighting here right now anyway. But I was gonna put it there, but there's power lines there, so I can't put it there. So I haven't figured out the situation yet, but I'll probably put his golden doodle sign over here because she has a poodle sign coming that I want over her spot. But we're still figuring it out. I don't even know what I was gonna say next. But yeah, we're still figuring all that out because there's nowhere to put the gear wall. The power lines don't run through it, so it might just have to stay there for now. But yeah, I'm in the process of doing her registration, which I'm excited for because I'm excited to get her pedigree and her breed certificate and hang them up over on her side, just because it'll be cute. And then, but yeah, so I thought I would show you guys some of what the breeder did. I'll just read you her temperament stuff because if I read you everything, that would get long. And of course, she has a 2-year health guarantee like Patches did. Genetically tested. Okay, so I'll read her temperament test results first. So I'm not going to read like all these score options. I'm just going to read what hers was because that would get long. Like that could be a whole video. So, test. Social attraction. Place the puppy in a test area from a few feet away. The tester coaxes the pup to her or him by clapping hands gently and kneeling down. Tester must coax in a direction away from the point where it entered the testing area. Purpose, degree of social attraction, confidence, or independence. So she got a 3, which is came readily, tail up, which is adorable. And then the next one, following. The tester stands up and slowly walks away, encouraging the pup to follow by lightly clapping hands and using verbal encouragement. Make sure the pup sees you walk away. Degree of following, purpose. Degree of following attraction, not following indicates independence. So she also got followed, readily, tail up. It started pouring down hail. That scared me. The weather is so weird. Earlier it was sunny, now it's hailing. Startled him too. That was loud. I wonder if you guys heard that. That was loud. So she got followed, readily, tail up, which doesn't surprise me because she follows us everywhere. It's funny because I read these on the way home just because it was interesting. Like I knew what her score was, but I didn't know like the specifics of it yet. And I read this on the way home, and like now reading it, it's like, oh yeah, because I know her now, so I'm like, oh yeah, she does do that. Okay, and then resistance. Crouch down and gently roll the pup on his back and hold it with one hand for a full 30 seconds. Do not use too much pressure. The object is not to keep it on its back, but to test its response of being placed in that position. And then purpose. Degree of dominant or submissive tendencies. How it accepts stress when socially and or physically dominant. She also got a 3. Settled, struggled, settled with some eye contact. And then social dominance. Let the pup stand up or sit and gently stroke him from the head to back while you crouch beside him. See if he will lick your face, an indication of forgiving nature. Continue stroking until a recognized behavior is established. And then the purpose of that is degree of acceptance of social dominance. Pup may try to dominate by jumping and nipping or is independent and walks away. She got 3. Cuddles up to tester and tries to lick face. That's the other thing. She is such a cuddle, and she is a little bit of a face licker. Patches was not. She is a little, not too badly, but like if I'm holding her, she'll definitely sneak one up there, and then she'll stop. But like he never licked my face ever. She's a little bit of a face licker, so we're gonna work on that, but it's okay. But that doesn't surprise me. She is already an amazing cuddler. Like I'll put her in the bed, and she'll just lay next to me in Patches and like chill. He was not like that until he was like 3. She's already like such a chill, like, I mean, she's energetic, she's a puppy, it's normal, but she's a little bit more chill than him, like by a lot. She'll just, now he's way more chill, but like as a puppy, if they were puppies at the same time, she's definitely the calmer one out of the 2. But yeah, so she's already a cuddler, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, she's a little bit of a face licker. He was not. She's a little bit. Okay, you got elevation dominance. Bend over and cradle the pup under its belly, fingers interlaced, palms up, and evaluate just off the ground. And hold it, I don't know, just off the ground. Hold it there for 30 seconds. And then purpose, degree of accepting dominance while in position of no control. She got another 3. No struggle, relaxed. So she pretty much has 3s off the board. And then the next one is, and then the next one is retrieving. Crouch beside pup and attract its attention with a crumbled up paper ball. When the pup shows interest and is watching, toss the object 1 to 2 meters in front of the pup. And then the purpose is degree of willingness to work with a human. High correlation between ability to retrieve and successful guide dog. Ability to retrieve and successful guide dogs. Obedience dogs, field trial dogs. So basically successful service dogs. That one she got 4. Chases object and returns without object. That kind of surprised me because I'll throw a ball and she already brings it back to me. So that kind of surprises me, but maybe it's because it was paper. I don't know.
Good.
That's funny. You
already bring it back and give it to me.
4's not a bad score, so that's pretty good anyway. And then the next one is touch sensitivity. Take puppy's webbing of one front foot and press between finger and thumb lightly, then more firmly till you get a response. While you count slowly to 10. Stop as soon as puppy pulls away or shows discomfort. Purpose, degree of sensitivity to touch. That one she got a 4. 3 to 5 seconds before response. 3s and 4s is what you do want, so. And then the next one, sound sensitivity. Place pup in a center of area. Assistant of tester makes a sharp noise a few feet from the puppy. A large metal spoon struck sharply on a metal pan twice works well. Degree of sensitivity to sound also to test for deafness. And then she also got 3 on that. Listen, locate sound, and walks there curiously, which is pretty good. You want that for a service dog. And then sight sensitivity. Place pup in a center of area. Tie a string around a large towel and jerk it across the ground a few feet away from the puppy. Degree of purpose. Degree of intelligent response to strange object. She also got 3 on that. Looked with curiosity, attempts to investigate, tail up. So that's cute. And then this one, stability. Open an umbrella about 5 feet from the puppy and gently place it on the ground. Purpose, degree of startle response to strange object. Fight or flight drive. She got 4 on that. Sits and looks but does not move towards the umbrella. Okay, and then structure. The puppy is gently set and held in a natural stance and evaluated for structure in the following categories. Straight front, straight rear, shoulder lay back, front angulation, crop regulation, rear angulation. See diagram below. Purpose, degree of structural soundness. She got good, so this one is good, fair, and poor. So she got good. She has the correct structure. And I can show you guys the pictures. So yeah, so that's her temperament test. And then she got overall mostly 3s. So on this form, it tells you what that means. I will read you guys what mostly 3 means, which is what she got. Mostly 3s. Can be high energy dog and may need lots of exercise, good with people and other animals, can be a bit of a handful to live with, needs training, does very well, and learns quickly. Great dog for a second-time owner. I think she got mostly 3s. I don't remember what. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think she got mostly 3s. So yeah, so that's pretty good. For a service dog, you want mostly 3s or mostly 4s. Mostly 4s is the perfect pet. It doesn't surprise me that a poodle is hyper, because poodles are hyper. But that does kind of surprise me because she is not a handful at all. But obviously that's not the whole thing. But I mean, that's not the whole like picture of a dog being tested. Her breeder also does temperament test them starting at 6 weeks. I can't remember. I think it's 6 weeks, and then does it until they're 8-9 weeks old. So they get temperament tested multiple times, just to make sure. But yeah, that's not really everything, like, because like she's not a handful at all. I mean, she's a little mouthy, but like, she's a really good puppy. So I would honestly say she's probably the perfect puppy. But of course, all puppies need training. So, and it doesn't surprise me that a puppy is a handful, but she's not really a handful. So I don't know, but that's what it says. That's her temperament test. But for service dogs, you do want mostly 3s or 4s. When he was temperament tested, I did my own temperament test as well as the breeder temperament tested him, just like with her. And you do want mostly 3s and 4s because both of those are kind of like the kind of dog you want. So yeah. So you kind of want mostly 3s or 4s. And then this is puppy socialization checklist. Which I will read you guys what she's already been socialized to just because it's interesting. I don't know about you, but I think it's interesting. I love breeders. He was also socialized to a lot of things. I love it when breeders do that just because until they're fully vaccinated, you can't really do too much once you get the puppy. And so it's really important that the breeder does as much as they can. So that way when you get the puppy, you don't have to be worried about, okay, I have to socialize, but also they could get parvo and die. So I love it when they do that. But I got a checklist, which is nice because I didn't get one with him. So first I'll go through all the things she is socialized to, which is literally almost everything. Oh look, it's also by it's also by the Association for Force-Free Professionals. I just read that. I love this breeder. She's amazing. Okay, anyway, so I'll just read you. She's literally almost been, I don't think there's anything private on here, so I'll just show you guys. I don't think there's anything that, like, she's almost, like, all those checks are what she's been socialized to, so literally almost everything on this list. The only thing she hasn't been to is things that you can't really socialize to every day of the year. So she is socialized to sirens. Okay, so these are visuals and noises. Sirens, car horns, traffic, crowds of people, wheelchairs, crutches, canes, bicycles, skateboards, rodeos, loud cars, radios. That makes more sense. I was like, where did they go to a rodeo? Radios, loud cars, motorbikes, parking lots, doorbells, knocking on doors, trucks, and then places. They've been to the veterinarians, and then maneuver and touch, stairs, tile, asphalt, concrete, grass, sand, carpet, wood, smell. I don't know what smell means, but anyway. Interacting with people, holding, this one she has all of them. Holding puppy, touching paws, touching muzzle, touching ears, touching tail, hugging puppy, touching collar, checking teeth, clipping nails, brushing teeth, checking between pads, cleaning ears, touching rear legs, brushing and grooming. It doesn't surprise me she has all of those just because of that biosensory training. They do a lot of that in it. And then meeting people. So then she's met men with beards, hats, sunglasses, jewelry, helmets, cigarettes, and then women with hats, sunglasses, jewelry, helmets, and then children 0 to 2 years old, in strollers 2 to 4-year-olds, 4 to 12-year-olds, 13 to 19-year-olds, adults with crutches, canes, wheelchairs, elderly person, male and female. So she has all of those for meeting people. And then she has all of these too, people and sounds, talking loudly, laughing, crying, shouting, arguing, children playing. And then meeting animals. She has puppies, male adult dogs, female adult dogs, kittens, and cats. So those are what she's been socialized to. So I'll just read really quickly the only things she hasn't been, which is kind of nice because I can just go through and check off when I do them. So it's kind of nice. So for visual and noises, she hasn't been exposed to fireworks, which makes sense. I mean, unless it's for 4th of July, it's kind of hard. Thunderstorms, also makes sense. Fairs and festivals, shopping malls, busy traffic, all makes sense. Airplanes, helicopters, and trains, all make sense. And then places she hasn't been to: boarding kennel, daycare, or pet shop, which makes sense. Although she has been to a pet shop now, because again, I had to hold her. It was terrifying, but I just held her and didn't touch anything. And then maneuvers and touch, she hasn't been on escalators, thank goodness, because those are dangerous, or marble floors. Again, makes sense. And then the only other things she hasn't been socialized to is meeting animals: horses, cows, sheep, chickens, ducks. All make sense. Like, you don't really have those laying around for puppies to just see. So yeah, so all those make sense. So yeah, that's some of the things about her. I think that'll probably be it for this video because that was already really long. That was already like a really long video. She's already spoiled. She already has so many toys, and her name is Denali. I named her Denali too. Maybe I should talk about her name just a little bit. I know this is a long video, but just a little bit because I love her. I just want to talk about her. But I named her Denali because Denali is a beautiful mountain in Alaska. And it's big and it's strong, and she's going to be a big dog, and she's going to be a strong girl. So, and it just honestly fits her. It's funny because I went in thinking, okay, I don't care if it's going to be a boy or a girl. I'm honestly good with either. I just love dogs as long as they're going to be big enough for the tasks that I'm going to need. And Standard Poodle, then I don't really care. I mean, and a good breeder. But again, we've established that I found a good breeder. So yeah, so I had a list of like boy and girl names, and one of the first names I thought of, well, first I thought of Lucy Lou, which I can't even believe I thought of that name because I really don't like it now. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I don't like it now. For some reason, when I first started thinking of getting another puppy to start the service dog prospect journey with, I really liked that name, but I really don't like that name now. So I don't know what I was thinking. But after that name passed, and I was like, I don't like that name, then I thought of Denali, and that was like on the top of all my lists for so long. She knows her name now, so she's probably like, you're talking about me. She's taking her nap, but as you can see, quiet. She's literally over there. And I'm talking to a camera, and she's not making a peep. I don't know how I got lucky with such an amazing dog. And these two are going to be so much, they're going to be friends in no time. Anyway, so yeah, so it's a beautiful mountain. But yeah, so that was at the top of it. And then I was like, okay, well, just in case it's a boy, especially once I found out that she had 3 from this litter left and there was 2 boys and 1 female, I thought, okay, the chances of the female outweigh the chances of a male since there's 2 of them, which I was completely wrong. But so then I was like, okay, I better start thinking of male names just in case it's a male. Which I didn't care if it was, because I wanted Patches to be a boy. I picked my dogs based on temperament and personality and them choosing me over anything else, so I don't pick them for coloration, although I love her coloration, and just like I love his, and gender, although I did pick him because he was a boy. I did only hold the boys, but thankfully one of the boys picked me, so I wouldn't have needed to go further anyway. But other than that, this time I was like, why am I even limiting to gender? Because do I really care? No. I don't. So, but yeah, so I was like, okay, I really need to think of some boy names. So then I was thinking, okay, well, maybe Oakley, but then maybe that's kind of a girl name. And I was thinking, I don't even remember my boy names, but I didn't really like them. I was like, maybe Loki, but I don't really like Loki. I was just having a hard time with it. And I was just like, I wish I could name my boy Denali, because I love that name. And I just felt like there was going to be a Denali in this house, so. And at the beginning, I really did want a girl, so although I don't pick it because of a girl, like I don't choose him based on gender except for him, I did want him to be a boy, which I'm glad for, because I do love that I have a boy and a girl. But I was just like, it would be fun to have a boy and a girl, so I really wanted a girl. But now I have my boy and my sweet girl, so I'm really happy with that. They're doing incredible. Yeah, so they'll be friends in no time. They can't really play again because she's too little still, like, you know, he would squish her on accident. So they can't play yet, but they're going to be able to play in just a few short months. They'll be running around this place, and I'll be like, guys, go to your kennel, you're driving me nuts. So I can't wait for that moment. It's exciting. I've never had 2 dogs at the same time, actually, because, I mean, dogs that I had when I was little weren't really mine because I was just a kid. They were mainly, like, you know, my family's or whatever. And then when I got my first dog that was all mine at 18, which my rule in my house was I had to be 18 to get my first dog, I ended up rehoming him when he was like 2.5 for a service dog because he had bad habits. He couldn't have been a service dog. He was also little, which means I had to bend down for everything. And he also shed a lot, which was bad for my lungs. He wasn't supposed to, but he did. He shed everywhere. And so I ended up rehoming him for him. And so I've never actually had 2 dogs at the same time, so it's really exciting and a new chapter and a new experience to have 2 at the same time. So they're going to be friends in no time. They do really good together. They already don't get into each other's dishes. When she first came home, she was kind of going up there and putting her front paws on his dishes. It was so funny. But he went over there to sniff like 2 times to her dishes, and I was just like, Patch, just leave it, and he'll just leave it. So they do really good. They don't try and get into each other's food. Right now they just share all their toys because neither one is really picky about it, so I just let them share them. Hopefully someday they'll be able to play tug of war together. She's too small. I did get them to play a little bit, and I was on her side helping her because she's too little for it, really, you know. But yeah, so they're doing really good together. It's an adjustment for everyone, but that's normal. Like, there's going to be a normal adjustment period when you have an established dog and then you enter a new puppy. But they're doing really good. Like, he still is working full time. I haven't taken videos or pictures in a while because, I don't know, I just haven't really been in the mood for it, I guess. Hopefully I'll get more videos and pictures. Probably not for YouTube. Go follow me on other social medias where everybody else already knows about this puppy. But yeah, so I just haven't really taken pictures of him lately. I don't know why. It's just, I feel like they're all the same angle, so I'm like, does it really matter that we ran into Safeway again or Fred Meyer's again or Walmart again? Like, it's all the same angle. So that's kind of why I haven't posted him working, but he still works full time. He goes everywhere I go. Like, he's still my service dog. We're still glued at the hip. So, for those asking, yes, she will be trained with positive reinforcement like he was. I'm a positive reinforcement trainer. That is how we train in this house. So yes, she will be trained positive reinforcement like he was. There's no question about it that she will be trained with anything else. That would never happen. So, for those that are gonna ask, yes, she will be positive reinforcement trained. I can't wait to have her first harness too, because she looks incredible in pink. You probably have already seen pictures, because I'm gonna have some pictures and videos and stuff displaying here. But yeah, she looks so cute in pink, so I can't wait for her first service dog and training harness vest, which will be like an Amazon one, because I think it's adorable to have each of my service dogs have a certain color vest. So Patches' first Amazon vest was red before he got his, you know, grown-up service dog stuff. His in training vest was red, so I think it would be adorable if her in training vest is pink, and then maybe my next one will be purple or blue, you know what I mean? I just think it's cute to have each one have a, because I obviously keep them, like, as keepsakes. Like, this is in my curio right now, and so I'll put hers next to it when she's done with hers. So I just think it's adorable to have each one a different color. So hers is going to be pink. She looks incredible in pink. And then her first service dog harness, once she starts mobility, is going to be pink because she looks incredible in pink. Like, she looks so good in pink. So yeah, so she's a standard poodle. She will get 55 to 60 pounds. So she'll be about the same size as him. She was a good breeder. I don't know what else to say. I think that's it. So, if you guys want to see more updates, then I suggest you don't just follow me on YouTube, because I'm hardly ever on here these days. Not purposefully, it's just life gets in the way. I don't know what to talk about all the time. Vlogs are a lot, especially during this pandemic. You know, it was easier before the pandemic because I could go to the mall and film clips or whatever. But now with the pandemic, it's kind of hard. But I probably will try and film more. We'll see. Probably not. But yeah, so that's it. Patches is still laying down there. He's like, Mom, you're laying by my bed. But I couldn't lay over there because, yeah. Anyway, so if you stayed to the end, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Rising up like a phoenix.